Hey, what's up you money makers? What's up you Hcmc army? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be covering ticker symbol Hcmc Healthier Choices Management Corp. In last couple of days, you might have seen that there is a couple of things that came up pretty recently. What's going on with Hcmc? Why the stock dipped to all the way 0.0005? And what are some of the things that are causing this dip before and prior to the judge's ruling on the motion to dismiss? We'll talk about all these things, the two key takeaways that I want to share with you that I noticed that has changed pretty recently as to why the stock price is down. So I'll share that with you as well. The third thing is why I'm not super concerned about and pretty optimistic about this lawsuit, that it may go on trial and the judge is going to reject the motion to dismiss that is filed by Philip Morris. So we will talk about all this kind of juicy stuff. If you haven't clicked on the like button, I would ask you to click on the like button so we can share this information with more and more people. There's a ton of FUD going on. Yes, FUD, basically fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and we want to share more and more research and analysis and pretty much my thoughts with Hcmc army and the Hcmc stockholders. So click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, because I've been sharing a ton of time sensitive updates and pretty relevant information about Hcmc and many other penny stock cryptocurrencies, so on and so forth. So click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, and help and support this channel as well. It doesn't really cost you anything. I'm not a financial advisor, nor I'm a certified professional. By the way, Hcmc is a hit or a miss. Pretty risky penny stock. It's a micro cap penny stock. As you can see, very small market cap, $216 million. And the stock price is pretty small as well, 0.00065. So it can go either way. So do your own due diligence. Do not buy your entire savings or entire portfolio just for Hcmc, because you can make a ton of money if things work out. And once again, I'm optimistic, but if things don't work out, you can lose your investment as well. So make wise decision for yourself. At the end of the day, it's your own money. So let's talk about Hcmc and what's going on. One of the things I wanted to show you is the volume has considerably going up. As you can see right now, within not even in half an hour in trading session, the volume is 201.55 million. If you take a look at this Fintel site, and we have the latest data. I wanted to share this information last night, but we did not really have this data updated. But let's take a look. If you take a look, there's a sizable difference in the volume. Remember, we had about 1 to 2 billion volume, total FINRA volume, as you can see on this screen. So 1 billion, 1.7 billion, 1.3 billion, 1.3 billion, so on and so forth. The most volume that we saw was 27th of the last month, which was 2 billion. That volume suddenly jumped from 1 to 4.1 billion, which is 4 times more volume all of a sudden. Not only that, the FINRA short volume also bumped up from 266 million to 1.4 billion. Now, you may be wondering why this is a big thing. Now, if you take a look right here, we were around 24, 45, 33, 40, 39, so on and so forth as the short volume ratio. Now, this is not uncommon for Hcmc stock to have 25, 30 point short volume ratio. However, when we see higher volume and higher short volume ratio, that means there is a lot of fear, there's a lot of shorts going on. And I did a previous video that whether shorts can control the price or not, and this is precisely what we are seeing. When the volume went up, the price went down. If you take a look at the chart yesterday, that was the case, and yesterday's chart shows that we went all the way to 0.00055, and I believe that it did hit 0.00050. And from that price point, we're back up to 7. So many people also are swing trading. Remember, regardless of the price, if you bought the stock at the 5 level, if you're selling at the 7.5 level, you are earning almost 50% the return on the investment. While there is a ton of news, ton of updates, ton of excitement, and a strong HCMC army behind the stock, so there are a ton of short volume, as well as there are a ton of swing trades that I believe that is happening. Now, looking at the lawsuit timeline, as I explained before, PM responded on August 20th on the HCMC's complaint amendment. HCMC has pretty much 14 days. They responded back on September 3rd. HCMC responded back on September 3rd, and now the judge is going to rule and give their guidance on whether they are accepting or rejecting the motion to dismiss that is filed by Philip Morris. Now, there is a pretty good potential and possibility that the judge will decide in favor of HCMC, because we do see that there is really good merit. Now, we'll see what we'll see in future. So we don't know what we don't know, because judge might have a lot of other things to consider. They are the experts. The lawyers are the experts as well. And in my opinion, personally, I'm not a lawyer, not a financial advisor. This video is not a financial advice either, or any kind of advice. But in my honest opinion and research, what I believe is HCMC's response was pretty strong, and which is why I'm not super concerned and pretty optimistic about this lawsuit going on trial. And that is going to help HCMC, because they will have a ton of power once it goes on trial to negotiate the deal, sort of lump sum settlement with Philip Morris, multi-billion-dollar company who has invested more than $3 billion into the IQOS product, so on and so forth. So I'm pretty optimistic. Now, one more thing that you also want to consider is HCMC has a ton of cash in hand. Why? Because they have the rights offering just before a couple of months, and they raised a capital of $27 million from the common shareholders. So the company has a ton of cash, as I just mentioned. On the top of that, their business is going on pretty well. The revenue is between $3 to $4 million quarter over quarter, and on the contrary, on the last quarter, they also had positive net cash flow. If you take a look at their balance sheet, and I wanted to really quickly show you this balance sheet before I talk about why I am pretty optimistic about the lawsuit. Looking at this particular SEC filing that the company had, if you take a look right here, the company does have more than $27 million. If I'm looking at the right here, the cash equivalent on June 30th, $29 million cash on hand, with the total asset of 37.9, so almost $38 million asset that the company has on hand. So their balance sheet is pretty strong, in my honest opinion. Their balance sheet shows the strength that the company can pay the lawyers, the company can bear all the expenses and whatever that is going on, whatever it takes, practically whatever it takes for the company to do in order to get the lawsuit done and get in settlement with HCMC. Maybe it could be some sort of the future looking royalty deals, as well as some sort of lump sum settlement. So the company is in a pretty good stage, in my honest opinion. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. Here is something that I was really looking to share with you. On June 30th, the company has cash and cash equivalent of $29.3 million. Their account receivable is $53,000. Their inventory is almost $2 million. So at one point, they're going to sell all this inventory. So I do consider that it's kind of a cash, or some sort of the, not cash equivalent, but the inventory that may have additional profit as well. So more or less $2 million there. They have prepaid expenses and vendor deposits of almost $268,000, and additional investment of $34,000. With the cash, current asset is $31.6 million, and with all the equipments and the rights of the lease and the assets, and they have ton of IP assets as well. With all that, they have $37.9 million in total assets, and the liability is 5.9, so almost $6 million. And by the way, they will have a good quarter as well. So quarter over quarter, if they keep doing the revenue, I think the current price point of 0.0007810, whatever the level is, they justify the price for the business that the company has. And now I'm going on to my last thing to just make sure that this video is not too long is why I'm super optimistic about this lawsuit and the motion to dismiss, for a couple of reasons. One, I already mentioned that the company has enough cash on hand so they can run with the cash and fight for this lawsuit against Philip Morris up to the end, and they won't really have any issues paying lawyers' fees and other expenses that may incur during this lawsuit. Now, one of the other thing I wanted to share is Dr. Michael Dibble, who conducted the combustion testing on the IQOS system. One of the argument that the Philip Morris had was Dr. Michael Dibble, who is the PhD expert, they did not really conduct this particular testing on IQOS systems themselves. But Hcmc's allegations are substantiated by declaring that, or the declaration of Dr. Michael Dibble, who conducted the combustion testing on IQOS system, including the tobacco heat stick, notwithstanding PMI's or Philip Morris's baffling allegation that he did not test this himself. So he confirmed, Hcmc confirmed that that's not the case. And right here they mentioned that Hcmc should be granted leave to amend because its amendment is not futile, and they answered this, and this is one of the strongest part into their latest response that I found, which incorporates by referencing declaration of Dr. Michael Dibble, the PhD expert who holds doctorate in physical chemistry and whose analysis conducted that based on, and this is not Hcmc, this is the PhD expert Dr. Michael Dibble himself saying, based on the testing and analysis I performed in my review of the technical literature, the IQOS device causes combustion of a heat stick tobacco product when it is operated in accordance with its instruction for use. So this instruction for use is provided by Philip Morris. And this device is built by Philip Morris as well, IQOS device, which, by the way, the doctor tested, and they shared their opinion. In its opinion, in its opposition, Philip Morris only challenged that the plausibility of Hcmc's allegation that, based on Dr. Dibble's analysis, that the IQOS system initiated combustion reaction is that Dr. Dibble concedes that he did not test an actual IQOS device. Now, Hcmc says, no, that's not the case, which means that this plausible argument from Philip Morris is null and void, which does mean that this case needs to go on trial, and based on additional findings, additional advice from the industry experts, maybe scientists and other PhD experts, the judge will need to decide in the trial phase as to really what's going on in terms of the patent infringement that Hcmc is claiming against Philip Morris. Now, so that's one thing. The second thing is, we always talked about Exhibit J. Now, in this case, like with the final response, Hcmc got rid of Exhibit J. And they said FDA references, they no longer have part of the argument at the moment, and this particular response supersedes the complaint amendment, supersedes the rest of the previous complaint, as you know. So with that, once it supersedes, that means that this is the final response. FDA references are probably not needed at this point based on what Hcmc is talking about and is claiming, and that also suggests that the case may go, the lawsuit may go on trial. Hcmc has a strong and valid points, and with all this, I'm super optimistic. So a couple of things that are happening with the low price point. The first thing, as I just mentioned, is the high volume with the high short volume ratio as well, or the high short volume that we started seeing in last day and a half. So that's the first thing. The second thing is a lot of speculation and swing trades, because people are buying and selling for the same reason that you buy any other stock, for the swing trades. Because swing trades, you make a ton of money. With this kind of Hcmc situation, 50% return in one day, people will gladly take that, right? And they might be a long-term investors as well. So on one hand, they are buying and selling. On the other hand, they have other stocks other stocks for the long run and ride the wave. So that's first thing. And the second thing is FUD. There's a ton of uncertainty, doubt, and fear going on into the market, which is what also causing this price dipping that we see right now. But if there is the judge's response, and we don't know when it's going to happen, I'll keep you posted, and that's why you want to subscribe and also click on the turn on the notification bell as well. But as soon as the judge decides and shares the ruling or their verdict on the motion to dismiss, whether they're rejecting or approving, the stock price will fluctuate super fast, and it's going to be volatile. We'll see a ton of volume once again. That's my guess. Once again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I just wanted to share this information with you, hoping you can make informed financial decision. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.